Alright, hello everyone, and welcome. DSP here, and welcome to my very premiere stream, the first one I'm ever doing of the new Universal Exploration game, No Man's Sky. Now, just to make it clear, this is the first of two streams that I will be doing today. This is the first time I'm ever touching the game, but I will also be playing it later tonight. So right now we'll have a stream of around 3 to 3.5 hours. And then I'll be taking a break for dinner and to do chores around the house and stuff like that. You know, the usual stuff. And then I'll be coming back tonight around 7 p.m. Pacific time. So, if you're here for the stream, you sit down, you start watching it, you're like, wow, this is pretty good. And you want to see more, I certainly hope you'll come back later tonight for more. Okay? So, here's the deal. No Man's Sky, a game that we've heard stuff about for 3+ years, quite honestly. The lead game dev of this game actually worked at EA, and he worked on games such as Burnout, and wanted to do something completely different, wanted to break the mold. Didn't want to do a game that was just cookie cutter by the numbers, following the formula of someone else. Really was inspired to do something unique and different. And thought, gee, what's a kind of game that hasn't been done before, you know? A game with infinite possibilities, a game with infinite exploration potential. And so, on paper, No Man's Sky sounds pretty interesting. You're exploring an open universe that's progressively generated, meaning that no two people playing the game will have the same experience. Has the potential to have an infinite number of worlds, although I doubt it really is infinite, but you know what I mean. A ridiculous amount of worlds. And, you know, at its face, sounds really cool, right? Now, of course, not the problem, but the whole... the truth of the matter is going to be in the implementation. Can you take that formula, that idea of universal exploration, and can you translate it into a game that not only is addictive but fun and wants a player, or convinces a player to keep coming back and playing? I almost would say that, you know, if this game has a hook to it, right? It could be one of the most groundbreaking games ever, and the reason I say that is because how often do you hear about a game about universe exploration, about discovering unique planets? You know, this game breaks the mold. Just the premise of the game breaks the mold. It's not a first-person shooter. It's not a third-person action game. It's not a puzzler. It's not a platformer. It's not survival horror. It's not this or that. It doesn't fit any mold. So that's pretty cool, right? But at the same time, when you have so many factors, right? When you have a universe that's progressively generated, how often are you going to get something that's completely unique from something else? You know what I mean? Like, I can see it kind of backfiring. And the question is, you know, in the first few hours, undoubtedly this game will probably be interesting because you're still discovering the game mechanics and you're getting used to how the game works. But how long will it hook players? Now, I've heard that you could play this game for upwards of 60 to 80 hours before you kind of get to the end game of it, okay? But how many people will play it for 60 to 80 hours? That's ultimately what you need to see with a game like this. So that's the deal. Now, I've purposely stayed away. I knew, alright, that there was going to be people who got the game early, and there were going to be people who broke Street Day and all of that. Now, the game developers have come out publicly and said anyone who did that basically has not played the real game. You've played an early build, a 3-month early build, that does not have over 800 megabytes of patches, content, fixes that make the game way better. So, there's been people who've been playing this game for like 2 weeks, and they basically played a pre-release version that was not ready. And it's hilarious because I saw people even reviewing the game early, to which I gotta scratch my head and be like, how do you review a game that's not finished? You know what I mean? You know, I personally experienced this earlier this year when I played a game Dark Souls 3 early because everyone else was. I didn't want to. I had it planned out that I was going to play Dark Souls 3 during the normal release time of mid-April like everyone else. But people found this exploit on the Japanese Xbox Live store on Xbox One to play the game like 3 weeks early. And everyone was doing it. It was like every major streamer, I gotta do it for views, I gotta do it for views. So I was like, well, I guess I have to do it or else no one's going to watch me play this damn game. It sucks, but it is what it is. So I played it early, and what ended up happening was I played an early pre-release version that didn't have the patches and stuff implemented in it, so it ended up that the early game was too easy, right? Everyone's saying the early game seemed way too easy for a Dark Souls game, and there was a lot of issues with the game, loading issues and input delay issues and frame drops, and overall, I mean, I like Dark Souls 3, but it was a very disappointing experience, for me, because I knew that there was a superior version on PlayStation 4, and I didn't experience it because I gave in to that temptation of playing early, because I was afraid that if I didn't play it alongside everyone else, that no one was going to watch me play it, One of the pitfalls, absolutely one of the pitfalls of doing YouTube as a business, okay? So, all these people who rushed out and grabbed No Man's Sky early and broke Street Date and did underhanded things to get the games from retailers early and fooled them into selling it early or whatever the fuck they did, they didn't play the real game, alright? Now, does that mean that what we saw, or what everyone saw early, isn't representative of the final game? Who knows? You won't know till you play it, right? But it is what it is. I have done my best to stay away from as much info about the game as possible. I want to experience the game in a pure fashion, an original fashion, so that's not like, oh, I have all these preconceived notions of what the game is and what to expect from it, and this is what it's going to be, and this person already hates it, and this person loves it. No. I just want to play it and experience it for me. So that's why, I've kind of just tried to isolate myself from all of that crap, okay? Now, here's my plans for No Man's Sky, alright? Now, this may not be what ends up happening. In fact, a lot of times, when I lay out long-term plans for games and gameplay, it doesn't always work out. My plans for No Man's Sky is that today I want to play it all day. As I've already mentioned, I'm going to play it on this stream, and I'm going to play it on a second stream later today, okay? Tomorrow, I want to play it on my main gameplay stream. And then what I want to do tomorrow night, Wednesday night, is make a first impressions video about the game for KO Gaming, which is my channel where I put up edited content like reviews and impressions and countdowns. I want to do a video about that because I think that's what a lot of people want to know. Okay, people who bought the game and played it for a day or two, what do they think before I go run out and buy it? Because it seems like this is one of those, it's an anomaly, this game, right? It's so different from everything else. People are apprehensive about buying it till they hear from other people. So, that's what I want to do. Now, if I like the game, I'm going to continue to play it as an ongoing gameplay stream pretty much daily for the next week to week and a half. In fact, there's no new releases scheduled in August until August 23rd, which is 2 weeks from today exactly. Now, that day, it's huge. That day, we've got games like Deus Ex Mankind Divided. We've got King of Fighters 15. There's all kinds of stuff going on that week. There's even some indie games, alright? But I want to get as much gameplay in of No Man's Sky as possible before then, and like I said, if I am really riveted by the game and excited and interested, I'm going to be playing it pretty much every day. Now, I realize there's going to be people who are not going to be into that. You may be like, well, I want to see the early game stuff, but once you get into it and you know what it is, especially these long-form playthroughs, typically people tend to lose interest and you see big drop-off, okay? And I understand that, and I know that'll probably... Right now, I got over 600 people listening to me on pre-stream. I haven't even started playing the game yet, and I've got over 600 people listening. It's going to be less and less every day. That's just how it works. That's the nature of the beast, okay? But what I'd like to do is balance this with other stuff. So, this week, in fact, today, I'm supposed to be receiving 3 games in the mail. Scarface on Xbox, the original Xbox, Godfather 2 on the Xbox 360, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on the Xbox 360, although I ordered this copy of the game, and then everyone contacted me, don't play that version, it's a piece of shit, it sucks, it's buggy, it's a piece of crap, play the PS4 version. Alright, fair enough, I already ordered it, nothing I could do about it, I guess I'm stuck with it. So, I've got 3 games on the docket. What I'd like to do is later this week, start playing one of those games and balance it with No Man's Sky, so that way, if you don't like No Man's Sky and it's not your cup of tea, there's something else to watch, rather than just be inundated with the same thing over and over and over. I don't want people to be bored if this style of game is not your cup of tea. And let's face it, this is the first time I'm ever playing a game like this. So it's not like you could say, oh, I know if this game is entertaining to me or not. There's no way you'll know until you watch someone play it. So, we'll see what happens. So that's my plan. Now, let's say I start playing No Man's Sky, and within a week I'm bored of it. Well, you know, I might just write it off and say, okay, well, here's what my full experience of it, and kind of give a final thoughts on it or something. I don't know. The bottom line is I'll have more stuff to do. You know, I could always go back and do a session of Overwatch. There's stuff I haven't done in Fallout or Doom that are kind of lingering. There's strong rumors that the next episodic release of Hitman will be coming out soon. And I could always just go to one of those other games. So there should be enough to carry through the month. Even if No Man's Sky ends up being a bust, there should be enough to carry me through the month until the 23rd, when we're going to have tons of major releases coming out. And then it's just going to be crazy until come, you know, September. All right? Okay, so that is the deal. That's how it's going to work. So we're going to be started momentarily here, all right? And rather than me just go at length about a bunch of other crap, I could talk about the Olympics and people face planting and backflipping into water and doing all kinds of hilarious stuff. I just want to do the plug segment and then get started. So let's just do it, all right? We got tons of people here. Tons of people here ready to watch, so I want to get to it. So here we go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here for the premiere of No Man's Sky. Thank you for watching any of my streams or any of my on-demand videos. You know, my business is a lot different from other people's. It's primarily based off of word of mouth, okay? I don't have any advertisement budget. I don't collaborate. It's all based on you, the viewer, spreading the word and letting people know what you'll enjoy to watch, right? You like watching me? Please spread the word. Please check the description of all of my live streams and videos for a bunch of useful information, but there is a discount link there for a new subscription to Loot Crate. And actually, there was a new update a couple days ago that my discount code for a new Loot Crate subscription now works on any subscription, including not only the regular Loot Crate, but Loot Anime, Loot Gaming, any of those Loot Crate subscriptions. And for the next 2 months, I'm doing something a little different. I'll actually be unboxing a Loot Anime box this month. And then next month in September, I'll be unboxing a Loot Gaming box for some variety so you can see what's actually in those boxes. So please consider using my discount code. If you use it, I get a cut and you save some money. In addition, check out my Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP. You can actually see that right here on your screen right now. That's how you can follow me on social media, and primarily that's the best way to contact me for issues, for information. Daily, I put up a schedule at night to let you know exactly what I'll be doing the next day and for the rest of the week. I also put up all kinds of fun pictures and video. This morning I put up a video of my hamsters who were wide and awake this morning for some reason. Sometimes they're very groggy, but today they were jumping all around the cage, so I made a video of that. And other fun stuff, you know, pop culture stuff, things that I'm watching. Sometimes I take pictures of, you know, like TV shows or movies that I'm watching and I'm enjoying and stuff like that. I comment on wrestling sometimes, so it's cool to follow me on there. And obviously, if you like what you see, you like the tweets, you like the stuff up there, please retweet and or favorite or like, I guess it's called. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Whatever. Please interact with the tweets because that actually gives me a little bit more exposure, and that's key to online success. I've already mentioned KO Gaming, my YouTube channel where I do edited content such as game reviews, first impressions videos. It's basically taking all the footage from this channel, DSPGaming, and editing it into highly stylized videos. All right, it's not none of the uncut stuff. It's taking the raw footage and putting it into a more production value deal. As I said, I'll be doing a video on No Man's Sky tomorrow, so maybe after you watch it an hour or two today and you're like, okay, I get the gist, but I'd like to see maybe what Phil feels overall after a couple days, check out KO Gaming tomorrow. So you can find that at youtube.com/KO Gaming 1. It's done very well today, this year actually. Done very well. It certainly is a cool thing that I like to do, different from the raw stuff daily, so please check it out. Patreon. Patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Your monthly pledges to my Patreon go above and beyond just the normal role of a viewer. It basically says, I love what Phil does. I understand that he's an independent guy. He doesn't have massive sponsorship. He doesn't have funding from anyone. He does it all on his own. He's a one-man show, but I want to see him continue to do it because I love the style that he does it. Okay? You get personal perks when you pledge to my Patreon, like getting text or verbal thank yous, getting your questions answered on my bi-monthly show, Ask the King. You can even get a private Q&A video made. But in particular, the reason you'll probably want to pledge this month is because this month's goal is an interesting one. I've directly listened to the feedback of my viewers, and this month I have changed up Patreon completely to be exactly what they want. Alright? My viewers have said overwhelmingly, when you do Patreon goals, do a full playthrough as a reward. We don't just want to see a marathon or a one-off event. We want to see a full playthrough as a reward, because it's disappointing when you only play 6 hours of a game and then you never finish it. So that is what I'm doing. If we hit the funding goal on Patreon for this month, which right now we're only about $200 below the funding goal for the month, so it's very doable, I'm going to do a full playthrough of one of these 3 games. Alright? If you pledge $5 or more, you'll be doing a vote. You'll be voting on a poll. It's either Jak 3 HD from the Jak HD collection a few years back on PlayStation 3, Banjo-Kazooie HD from the Rare Replay collection on Xbox One from last year, or Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped from, the emulated PlayStation version. One of those 3 games will be the winner, and I will play that in September. Alright? So, if you pledge $5 by the end of the month, you'll be in on that poll if we hit the funding goal. And the bottom line is, we could definitely hit that goal. There is no reason why, no real reasoning why we wouldn't have that goal hit this month, because it's so early. These are things people directly want. This is what I've been asked for to play for a year. This is the way people have asked me to do it for a year. So, please, consider pledging if you have not. And, just to give you a perfect example of how this can turn into something awesome, just yesterday, late last night, I finished my playthrough of Sonic 2006. That's a game that has been kind of on the shelf for me, something in the back of my mind to do, but I never really had time to do it. And the patrons for June, we hit the funding goal, they voted for it, we did it, and it ended up being an epic playthrough that people really enjoyed. So, this could be another one of those experiences. Please consider pledging. And I want to say thank you to those who have pledged and are ongoing pledgees. You guys are awesome, and you allow me to do this in the full-time job, right? Without Patreon, I would not be able to do this full-time. And then, ladies and gents, last but not least, my girlfriend has her own business called The Black Current, which you can find at etsy.com/shop/The Black Current. She sells handmade glycerin soaps and waxed heart melts. Everyone who's checked it out has liked it. If you don't believe me, you say, oh, you're her boyfriend. Of course you're going to say that shit. Check out the website yourself. These are people who bought the product, and she's got nothing but positive reviews. People love the quality of the stuff she puts out. Great scents, higher quality than most of the stuff you'll buy at the store, which can't even be called soap anymore. If you don't believe me, go look at the stuff in the store. Most stuff, beauty bar, detergent bar, because they don't even have the primary ingredients of soap anymore. They're just cheap shit, which is why it's so inexpensive, but it's also bad for your skin. It's why when you wash with that stuff, you feel oily or dry after you get out of the shower. Her stuff's not like that. Her stuff is made to be healthy for your skin. She also sells waxed heart melts, which are a great alternative to burning a scented candle because there's no open flame hazard. Alright? So definitely check it out. Give it a look. Etsy.com/shop/The Black Current. And enjoy. Alright, that is it. We got through the gratuitous plugs, ladies and gents. I will say this. If you like what you see, please consider pledging to Patreon. I can't urge it enough that that's the way that's going to allow this kind of stuff to keep coming out. Alright? Alright, that's it. Let's end the pre-stream. We got a ton of people on stream. Holy crap. Let us begin with No Man's Sky, and let's see how this puppy rolls. Alright, here we go.